All right, well, hello, pre-algebra faithful. We are talking today about the percent equation. This is an alternate method to solve for part, whole, and percent. We already talked about percent proportion, so let's get into it. So if you look here, as opposed to doing the part over the whole equals the percent over 100, you do part equals percent times whole. The big difference here is that the percent has to be a decimal, okay? So a couple things you can do. You could actually use the percent button on your calculator. You type it in as a whole number and use the percent button. To turn any percent to a decimal, you divide by 100 or move the decimal twice to the left. You could actually put that in as a fraction. So any percent, you just put it over 100 if you like to use the fraction button. So let's go through a couple examples and see what this looks like. All right, so here we have find 60% of 90. Notice these problems look just like the percent proportion because this is an alternate method to the percent proportion to solve for the part, the percent, or the whole. So here it says find 60%, so that's the percent as a decimal. 60 divided by 100 is 0.6. I'll put the 0 there to help you see. Out of 96, that means that's the whole. All right, so that means we're solving for the part in this problem. So to find the answer, it's pretty easy. Solving for the part, the equation is set up for this. You take percent times the whole, and you are in business. All right, so 0.6 times 96 is 57.6. All right, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so over here, once again, we have the percent, we have the whole. So we just take 40. All right, I'm going to set it up. 45% as a decimal. We know the whole. Okay, that's a little bit of work that I want you to show on the test or the quiz. When we take the quiz next, 31.5. Okay, these are a little bit quicker to set up and solve than the proportion, which is why we give you an alternate method. Set it with the proportion, you have to cross multiply, you have to divide every time. Now the nice thing about the proportion is it's consistent. You notice the equation, it's going to be multiply sometimes, it's going to be divide sometimes. You have to change it to a decimal, you have to change it back to a whole number sometimes. So you'll see about those variants here coming up. So now in these problems, we know 15 is what percent? We don't know the percent. And in this case, we know the whole. So 15 is what percent of 125. So when you balance an equation, you look, what's happening here? This is multiplication. So we're going to undo with divide. We're going to divide both sides by 125. So these will cancel. 15 divided by 125 will be our answer. Now notice you're going to get a decimal, 0.12. That's the decimal form of our percent. We don't want that. We want to take it times 100, which gives you 12%. Anytime you turn a decimal into a percent, you can do times 100, or a shortcut is to move the decimal twice to the right. Is that your right? I don't know. I can't. In my video, I can never tell if it's reversed or not. So try another one. 20 is what percent of 400? So 20 is the part out of 400. Same basic thing here. We're going to take this 400 divided into 20. 20 divided by 400. And as you get better at these, you get 0.05. Okay, that's the decimal. Times 100 is 5%. As you get used to these, you'll get quicker and quicker. So you notice there's a lot less work that goes with it. They can be quick. Like I can do these a lot quicker than I can do the proportion because you don't have to mess with the fractions and cross multiplying and dividing. Now on the quiz, you can do either. You can use the equation or the proportion, but I recommend just pick one method and stick with it. In this case, we know the part, 18 is 30%. We don't know the whole this time. So 18, 30% is a decimal and whole. Now notice this time we have to divide by the decimal instead of divide by the whole. The part is the key. 18 divided by 0.3 is 60. Okay, let's come over here. We know the part, 79. Whoops, it looks like 179. Get rid of that 1. Okay, is 80% of the whole. We're going to divide by 0.8. 79 divided by 0.8 is 98.75. Don't round unless you really need to, unless there's a bunch of decimals or the problem tells you. In this case, it doesn't tell you. All right, next video, we're going to talk about a word problem, okay?